Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the movement. Thank you for joining us. We are the movement, a motivational organization veered to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. And as we so affectionately say, we are a movement to move. And that neck roll is for none other than Annette L. Anderson, who likes to roll her neck when we say a movement to move. And as always, we want to help you thrust into your purpose so that you can start living the best version of yourself and win. We want to see everybody win, right, Annette?
That is so correct. We are motivated tonight to get going. And we believe that something we said tonight to get you to the next level and to help you get around that track and get to the winning circle.
Let me tell you, it's hard getting around that track sometimes. That's,
It
I,
is.
I was horrible as a track runner. Hi, Stacy. Good to see Stacy with us tonight, Coach
Hey,
Stacy.
Stacy.
um, when I was in, I think eighth grade, I tried my um, bout at running track. But see, the thing is, I wanted to run it the way I wanted to run it. I
Uh,
didn't want to run it the way, like there are some people who are street trained in basketball, and then these coaches always say it's hard to get those people to play the game with skill because you're so street trained that that's just the way you do everything. So I considered myself like a street trained runner because I used to chase my brothers and I would outrun everybody in the neighborhood, but it's not the same when you have to train. And when I had to train, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? It was, when I say a rude awakening, it was a rude awakening for me when I figured out that the way I did things was not the proper way.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it's hard to get, as we're talking about this race, and it just said something and opened up a can of worms, that when we're running this race, it is difficult when you get to that, that final lap when your legs get numb and you can't feel yourself running. That is a tough, 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 tough place, and we have all been there. So I'm going to open up and share um, our thing tonight. Let me close. I got to close my Google because we have a great. Let me tell you, tonight's lesson got to me all the way down to the very end. Today was a very hard day for me to prepare to be on here tonight because I wasn't feeling well, and I haven't been feeling well for the last, I would say, probably about maybe 4 or 5 days.
Hmm.
And when you're having, a little that post nasal drip thing happening and sinuses acting up, it gets tough. And so that's what happened with me. I was having those kinds of issues.
Uh,
And in the process, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So I laid down and decided to lay down and take a nap. And then when you take a nap on Benadryl, that is not a good thing because Benadryl have you drunk. My niece takes it a lot of times because she's allergic to seafood, not supposed to have it. But anyway, so this is where I found myself when I started looking at how I was functioning today, trying to get on here. This really, a lot of this hit home for me. Our topic tonight is 2020. Readjustment is needed. It is needed, y'all. Readjustment is needed in most of our lives. Then that's where I found Anita. I have a friend who lives for the chiropractor. I mean, this particular friend, I tease her all the time. I'm like, I think you just go to the chiropractor. He must be cute. You must go to the chiropractor. And she's like, no, I need it. I need it. I mean, this is how bad it is for her. Sometimes she'll say, I have a cold. Oh, I need to go to the chiropractor. I'm like, what are you going to the chiropractor for a cold for? I just never don't, none of it never made sense to me. Of course, since that time, I've learned how much, people do depend on a chiropractor for certain things and how, because I'm more into holistic healing now, I get it. But I used to tease her. And so she used to always say, because her back, she had a car accident young, and she said that her back was constantly becoming misaligned and that she would have to often visit to have an adjustment. So I started thinking when we were talking about our topic tonight, when you go to a mechanic, usually for car maintenance like tires and brakes, But one thing that is hard to walk out of that door without, and they'll try to convince you every time, is that your car needs an alignment. Your car is a little out of line. It needs an alignment. So I feel that sometimes our lives and the things that we go through takes us through the same type of process. We're functioning, we're moving, and things are just, making it, but they may just be a tad bit off. And sometimes we don't even recognize how off we are until something happens. And just like with the car or with your back, if you wait too long, it can cause major problems in other areas. So when I look at the word, of course, looking at our word readjustment, I took the word adjust, which is a verb, and that's going to be my word for tonight. And that word, when I look at that word, it means in the intransitive state to adapt to new conditions. Transitively, it means to settle, resolve, or regulate. But there was another word under there that said to rectify. And rectify, when you look that up, it leads you back to the word adjust, because to rectify means, and it's in the transitive state, to correct by removing errors. So for a lot of us, this is a very pivotal time in our lives, and sometimes things start to pick up even when we're not ready. When we're not, we think we're not ready. Our business, your movement, your ministry, whatever, you start moving in a direction and you're like, wait a minute, am I really ready for this? Oh my God, I wasn't ready. Why did I step out? Why did I release that flyer? Oh my God, now I have to do it. It's going to be a mess. So we're not confident enough that we're ready, but the time is right. It's a pivotal time, and it gets a little unsettling. And so sometimes when we're going through this process, we just have to look at, even though things may not go the way we think they should, it may be a readjustment phase, because she said that when she lays down on the chiropractor's table, and sometimes when he's positioning her, it feels a little weird, and he's pulling her to this stretch point, and all of a sudden it goes crack. And then she said immediately everything's like, oh. And then she gets up, she's like, wow, I never knew that my shoulder was that crooked before. And so things start to resolve and start to settle. She starts to feel more like herself. Her walk and everything is different. So sometimes we need to go through that change or resolve or settle or rectify, which means to take away, to correct by removing the errors. We can't continue to carry the errors around with us. And one thing that often happens when we get to that place, and I don't know if this is true for anybody else, when we get to that place that we are in a readjustment period and nothing is going right, we have a tendency to say, oh, I'll postpone.
Yeah.
I'll wait. It just might not be time yet. Let me just cancel that. And we want to put off for another day or another time something that is meant for today, which takes me to my first point. Tomorrow is not promised.
That's right. Okay. All right now.
Tomorrow is not promised. So we're putting off something that we're supposed to do today to a day that's not been promised. And, when I say today, I'm not just meaning like today, but I mean like right now in the season today. Right now in your life, in your moment, in this present state that you're in. Sometimes we'll put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off, but tomorrow's not promised. So how can you put something off to a time that you don't even control? You don't control the time. You don't know if everything or everybody who's supposed to be there is going to be there tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to be there tomorrow, because it's not promised to you. You don't hold the key to the days. So that's why it's important that in this type of situation, we make every day new.
All right now. That's it.
Make every day new.
Like that.
How am I going to make every day new? Because every day you're given new mercies. You're given a new beginning. You're given a new time, a new day, a new way, a new season. So with all of that being given to you, you make every day new. You take your new and you make every day that you get up that you're going to take your new and you're going to apply your new. So what you're putting off is meant for right now. So don't be afraid of it. It's the readjustment. And if it's not working, if it's not moving right, if it's not like quite gelling right, and sometimes that happens, then we have to go and we have to take a look at the situation, because a lot of times we haven't really taken a look at why is the car not moving the way it's supposed to be? Why do I have this bump? That was a hard one for me. I did not realize how important the alignment was, because I went and got brand new tires and I was like, I'm not paying extra money for no alignment. No, I don't want it. And they're like, but you need that. No, I don't want it. And so I wouldn't get it. And then I would get in my car and be driving. 8 months later, I feel one of my tires got a bump in it or something. Because I needed an alignment, it wore out my tires, and particularly the front tires. And I was like, what? So that's why I needed an alignment? And then I had the tires were so bad that they were no longer usable. So now something that was great and that was probably meant for me to use in that moment and not have to go and pay money for new tires and an alignment, I should have just done what I needed to do. But in the process, there's always a way out, because what you have to do is, when you see that situation the way it is, when you see that you have gotten to the point that something is wrong and not moving properly, and you know you're doing the right thing, you just have to purge. You have to purge. It's time to get rid of some stuff. It's time to do inventory. As hard as it is, it's like, I just did that. Obviously, you probably didn't do the inventory that was needed in October, November, and December. So that may be why you are where you are now.
Yeah.
Is that there were things that you were supposed to do then to prepare for 2020, but you didn't do them. And so because you didn't do them, you're having bumps. Mm-hmm. You're hitting the hiccups. And it's like, it doesn't feel good, because now that means that everything is off. Nothing is running right. It's not moving right. I'm supposed to be smooth, but I'm feeling the bumps, even though there's not a rock, a pothole in the road, but I'm feeling the bumps. And so because of that, now I got to go and purge. And when I purge, I'm going to be stripped down to less than I had coming into 2020, because I did not take care of it in 2019. I knew the season was coming. I knew that things were changing, but I did not take care of them. So now, instead of me putting it off, I've got to make today new. And in order for me to see what's underneath all of that, I got to purge, because I can't put a tire on top of a tire. I can't go put a Band-Aid on the bump. I can't put nothing to stop the car from being on the line. What do I have to do? I have to get rid of the tires. Yeah. I have to purge them. Even though I just bought them. Even though I just made the flyer. Even though I just did this. I just made the business card. Well, you didn't do it right, so now you have to purge. But I just bought this and I just invested in that. Okay, well, but you didn't do this. So as a result of you not preparing, you went and put new stuff on top of stuff that needed to go anyway. And now you done messed up the new and the old. So you have to purge. And it is a hard place, because that is exactly where I've been finding myself this week. It's like, gosh, I thought I was on point. I mean, here's the thing. In our heart of hearts, truth of the matter is, you know you wasn't on point. You really know you wasn't on point, Anita. However, you can tell yourself that, because it's easier to say to yourself, oh man, I was so on point, I thought I had it. But when you really sit down and be honest with yourself, you know you really didn't. And now you're paying for it. And there's nothing left to do but purge. Purge. Get rid of that old crap, because what you have to do from this point is hit refresh.
Refresh. Come on.
You have to just hit the refresh button. And when you hit the refresh button, you get that nice little blink, boom, and then everything appears back. And a lot of times, I know this has probably happened to people, and it's not so pleasant when it happens, when you lose a document on your computer, because you start, like in Apple, you get the beach ball, and it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning, all of a sudden everything goes blink. And then you just have to restart your computer and pray that it's still there. And probably the last 10 things you did is not there. And you're like, oh God, I got to do this all over because you wasn't hitting save while you were doing it, you lost what you did. And so because you had to hit refresh, there's some stuff that's just not there. And then I always take it as this, maybe it's not there. And it's happened to me with my book, believe it or not. I got down to the end and I had this one chapter that I'd started and I'd done all this work. And you know how you leave your computer and you come back and it's either clicked off and back on, or I don't know what happened. But my documents were saying that they were recovered. And it was asking, do you want to keep this recovered document? I'm like, no, I already got that. I already saved that. I already did that. Why didn't I do that? Why? And I erased it. But what I erased was what I had already done. And I tried and tried and tried to get it back. I could not get it back. Because when it refreshed, that I worked on for hours was not there. And I had to talk to my writing coach, and she was like, Anita, you're going to have to calm down and just retrack your thoughts, because perhaps there was something that was missing out of there that God intended for you to put in. So go back and examine yourself and just rewrite it, because obviously it's for the better. You're going to say, so, OG, I feel you. Honey, I was so upset about that thing. Oh my God, it hurt me. I literally had to sit here and almost cry, and I hate to cry. But I almost wanted to shed a tear that day because I lost what I had been working on for so long, and I thought it was the best. But then I ended up writing something, and I felt better about it. Because for some reason I drew a complete blank about what I had already written, but I felt so good about what I rewrote that it didn't even matter anymore. So for that, because I was able to hit refresh, I was like, okay, so I'm good. I can still stay in my today. I'm still staying in the moment instead of saying, I'm going to wait till next year to write this book. No, and it needs to finish now.
Yeah.
You need it now, because perhaps hitting refresh was the best thing that ever happened. Because I can tell you right now, being renewed in my body is refreshing, is great, because I literally have had to do this. New suit for a new occasion. I have had to buy new clothes. And what happens is when we hit refresh, when we're going through the purging process, we have to get rid of some of the old stuff because we don't have room for the new. How can we even make room for new furniture when we don't want to get rid of the old furniture?
True.
You want to move new furniture in and just slide the old couch over. Now, 2 couches. No, that don't even look right. What does that look like? You're getting a new dining, you're just gonna slide the other one over in the corner, put the new one in front of the old one. No. When you start looking around and seeing that kind of action going on, you're either hoarding or you just ain't hearing right. Something's wrong.
Something wrong.
Because you have to be able to purge and hit refresh. And when you have the new, what do I look like putting on my old baggy clothes, leaving my old baggy clothes on and putting the new clothes on top of the old clothes? I would look like a ragamuffin, as they say in patois, with Jamaicans. Look like a ragamuffin. And that's what, a lot of us are. We're walking around spiritual ragamuffins because we're refusing to allow room for what's new that God is bringing into the equation. You don't know tomorrow. He does. And if he says it's time for the new suit for a new occasion, then get rid of the old. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we're coming into a new place. We're in a whole new decade, and we're already 15 days into the new decade.
You're right.
Already.
Oh, so I got to.
So we got to run. We don't have time for foolishness. We really don't have time for foolishness. We had to step out and make some things happen, whether we thought we were ready or not. And it's and if you don't do it, God's work is going to get done. His work is going to get done. But when he's called you to do it and promised you blessings and wonderful life fulfillment for doing and creating and making these things happen, then when you don't live up to the occasion, when you don't do what you're supposed to do, guess what? You'll look up one day and you'll be like, that was my invention. That was my idea. I had that. I released that flyer and I took it down and she went and copied me. No, you think God only talks to you? No, he doesn't only talk to you.
That's it.
if you're not making room for them and coming out with a new suit instead of looking like a ragamuffin and confusing people because they don't understand how you're coming, then you're not ready for that level because you have not done your readjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Time for that realignment, honey.
Oh yeah, that's
Time
it.
to see the spiritual chiropractor. Time to purge. Time to hit refresh. Make every day new and get those old clothes out of the closet. I had to do that. I was telling y'all last week how I have a basket in my closet now.
Yeah,
I looked through my closet and it looked very bare because I have about maybe 5 or 6 things that I'm juggling, and it's a good thing for me. But I also look at that as far as life is concerned when it comes to every other aspect of my life. And even just today, God has been doing some things to show me how I just missed a lot of moments. And it's like, okay, but I don't dwell in that because I still know that because I woke up today, because I still have breath in my body today,
mm-hmm.
that God is still using me today.
Today.
And I can't put off for tomorrow what I was supposed to do yesterday because I don't even know if I'm going to be here. So while today is here, I'm making it new and I'm doing what I got to do. Boom.
Fix your crown. There was a couple of things that came to my mind when I came up with this. One of them was when Miss Universe won, she became the queen. And when they went to put her crown on, because of her hair was short and there was no hair on the side, you know how the crown is, you have those 2 pieces that you could have mashed down in your hair. But see what they did, they had to readjust so the crown would fit. So just because your crown don't look like it'll fit, it could be readjusted to fit. And she went on and she was of course she's Miss Universe. And also the second thought I had was when I had my second child, because my first child was born breech. When I had my second child, I remember them saying they see the head crowning. And so I thought about when the head was crowning, something new was happening. This child that I never had before, she was coming into the world. And so I believe it's crowning time. You know, it's talking about high honor and it's being victorious. So fix your crown. It's time to crown. It's time to get to the next level. It's time for you to know that even though the crown don't look like it fit, it can be readjusted to your head to fit. And sometimes we step out into an organization, our ministry, and it don't look like we can do it, but you can readjust it to fit you. Don't matter what a sister down the street did, you have to fix your crown for where you're going. And the first thing that I really was thinking about when I was saying readjust from what happened last year, you know, is watch your words and your actions. Because we can talk ourselves into some things and we can talk ourselves out of things. So if you say you've been called to, I don't know, run an organization, there's a certain decorum you need to have. There's a certain way you need to act. There's a certain way you need to carry yourself. Because why would I want to come in your organization, come on your social media when all I see is profanity? You know, you say that you've been called to do these great things, and then, you know, all this stuff going on in your organization. So you have to watch your words. Even in social media, I'm very careful about what I put because words, they will follow you. So I don't want to be 10 years down the road and we're really up and moving. All of a sudden somebody put this on what I said. And that's happening now to a lot of people, you know, so we have to be careful with your words and your actions, how you carry yourself, because we're going somewhere, and where we're going, there's a certain way that we're going to carry ourselves professional. People are going to know we're about business. We're going to be on time. There's certain things that's important in an organization. I don't care how wonderful you are, but when you're late all the time, that's one of the things when I used to sing a lot with a group. And for some reason, we would always be on the circuit with John P. Key. It used to drive me saying all of me, oh, John P. Key, like, he never was on time. Never. I can remember about 3 or 4 times he was an hour late, you know. And because that was John P. Key, no, I don't want to pick up that habit. You don't want to pick up that habit. I don't care how great you are. I don't care how your organization grow. There are some things you should put in place, and they'll know that you're a stickler for time. I mean, things happen. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about every doggone time. You're never there. And that is so annoying to me. So if you're going to fix your crown and you're going to get ready to birth, because crowning acts as birthing, you're getting ready to be birthed into your newness, then there are some things that you have to do. in order that when people see your name, even when they don't see you, they see your name, they'll know, hey, this organization here is about it. And that's what we want to do. So that's why you have to watch your words in action. But also you have to take the high road. Sometimes it's so hard. I don't know how many times I'm on social media and I want to get with people, OMG. But what I do a lot of times, I just hide it. I say, forget it. All this foolishness with some of these preachers, carrying on up and with Trump and all that foolishness. I be like, really? Because that ain't got all that stuff ain't nothing. It got nothing to do with the word of God. If you really, some of that stuff they're saying, that's not biblical. They've taken the word and twisted it to fit. And sometimes I want to say, I said, you know what Michelle Obama say, when they go low, I'm going high. It's very difficult, but you got to learn how to give people benefit of the doubt. You got to stay professional at all times. And you don't stoop to their level because you're going somewhere. You're building something. You're doing something that nobody else is doing. Yeah, there may be other people that have that organization with the same title that you do, but it's not, it's not what you do. You're doing something different. And that's how I look at us. We're doing the movement. Other people have movements, but they don't have the movement that we have. And so there's a certain decorum. There's a certain way we carry ourselves. There's a certain way we act. There's certain things we won't say, certain things we won't do, because it's so important that you set an example for your organization, for your ministry, for whatever you've been called to do. So that's when you fix your crown, when you start birthing, because you're crowning now, you're birthing, you're going to the next place in your life. Make sure you learn how to take the high road. I didn't say let people run over you, but I'm saying take the high road. Sometimes you have to walk away. And taking the high road sometimes means stand your ground. It means that, you don't always have to cower down, but you have to learn how to conduct yourself, like a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And also you got to acknowledge that things change. One of the hardest things for people is once they get something in their head, they want it to stay that way. I remember some years ago on my job, because DCF constantly change. Department, Children and Family, Department of Changing Families. We always changing. And so I remember years ago, probably about 15 years ago, it was this lady. She could not adapt to the change because we had this massive change and we had been doing work a certain way, and she could not do it, and she eventually had to leave because she kept saying, well, we went back and we did. No, but that's not how we do it anymore. Even in church, people like, well, back in the day we did this, and back in the day and all that. But no, but you're not back in the day now. You have to accept and acknowledge that things change. And most time, if you think of it, it changed for the good, because even as much as we went from files, I used to like to go and pull files and flip through the files, and I like my client to come in, and that was something we resisted, but it's the best thing that could have happened. I can't imagine ever going back to that. So acknowledge things change, because if you're going to go if you're going to the nations, or you're going to write a book, or you're going to do TV or whatever you're going to do, just acknowledge things change, because you can't do it the way you've always done it, because if you do, you're going to get the same result. Mm-hmm. So we have to constantly change. We change so much, Anita.
Yes, we do.
We constantly change. We have to tweak our own selves. We try to get in a place. And even, and I don't care where you go, never think you've arrived, because even if you have a Fortune 500 company, there may be some things you have to tweak. So just know that. And finally, have a life story. Have a life story. And what I mean by that, don't be controlled by what was, because we all have a life story. And so you have to understand something about your life story. If you're not careful, it can cause you to stumble. But I just declared that I refuse to live in my past. I refuse to really care about people's opinion of me. So there's some things about my life story. I had to change my limited belief, because my life story of 10 years, 15 years ago, there were some things that, I had to acknowledge, and there's some beliefs I had to change. I had to change relationship. So we all have a life story. So don't allow people, situations to dictate your story. It was your story, and my story is my story. And was my story great all the time? No, but it was my story. So I had to get to the point in my life that as I was my organizations was crowning, that there were some things that I had to confront about my life. There was plenty I wish I could change, but I can't. So I'm using my life story to help prepare me to the next level, because my story, Anita's story, and so many other people's story on here that's going to listen, somebody need to know how you did it. How did you make it? You know, how did you survive?
That's the thing, though. You know what? And I mean to cut you off. There's something
right.
that because you said this a while back. We've been talking about this a lot, about how Jake said that oftentimes we'll give people inspiration, but not information. We
Exactly.
can inspire and we can shout with the best of them, but are they getting information that's going to help them go to the next place?
Exactly.
That's so different. That's true. Okay, go ahead.
No, that is so that is so true, because people see where you are, but if they really knew the story of where you were and how you came, no, we don't wallow back in the past, but we want you to know that our past was a springboard to our present and to our future. And so it's so important that we share that, because sometimes, you know, you think, I can't do it. You know, I know, man, they doing this, but I can't do it. No, if you knew their story, if you knew the backdrop, if you knew the heartache, if you knew the disappointment, if you knew the times they want to walk away and give up. And so that's why it's so important when you're crowning and you're birthing something, that you really begin to understand what somebody else had to go through. And that's one of the things that we do. We are very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
We're very transparent. Like we always say, we're not psychologists, a psychiatrist, but we're lifeologists. And what we do is share our lives and tell you that you can do it. Because we're just some ordinary women that stepped out and did some extra and doing some extraordinary things. That's it. That's all. You know, so that's why I meant by we all have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Anita's book's going to touch on her story. I don't know how in depth she's going to go, but her book is touching on her story. See, all you see is the woman that traveled and sung with all these people. And I remember that's Anita. Oh, I was like, oh, look at Anita. She's from Daytona. And see, and we got all excited, but you don't know what it took to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't know the disappointment, the heartache, the stuff. But all is that, I'm saying all that to say that fix your crown, because you're getting ready to go somewhere.
Come on.
You're getting ready to go somewhere. So now you're getting ready to go. There's some steps. Don't miss the steps. You know, we wanna be born one day and grown the next. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And that takes me right into my next point, is to step onto your bridge. We're getting ready to cross over somewhere. Some of us crossed over already, but some of us are getting ready to step onto your bridge. Your bridge is simply this. Your bridge is your organization. Your bridge is your book. You know, your bridge is your business. So you're getting ready to step onto your bridge. And what happens, one thing I love about a bridge takes you over to somewhere. So we're all going somewhere. So you need to take that bridge, that business, that organization, and use it to go somewhere. And we need to, and that my first point is, we need to cross over and embrace new roles. You got to learn how to be open-minded and not be so rigid, you know, because there's some newness coming. There's so many things that God has for us. Do you really think that we just going to stop with the movement? I think not. Even within the movement, there's going to be organization. Within the movement, there's going to be some things going on. We're not just stopping with the movement. You know, we talk, and there's some other things that we're going to do. But, you know, so we have to learn how to cross over and embrace. So embracing newness sometimes is scary, because, you know, it's almost like when we first started. Okay, I was scared. I don't know if Nita was. You know, like, oh Lord, I'm gonna jump. Oh God, please catch me before I fall. You know, but jumping was good, because it meant that I was gonna either fall and bust my head. I was gonna learn how to fly. And so I had to learn how to fly. And so when you cross over to your new road, to your newness, just know that you gotta embrace it. You gotta hold on to it and say, you know, God, I don't understand right now. I really cannot identify where I'm going, but I trust you enough that I'm gonna hold on. Even if I can't hold on to that vision, I hold on to you, because you're gonna open the door and you're gonna make a way, and you're gonna cause me to cross over to a new. And you also need to connect to your now. Connect to your now. you have to get to the point. Oh, okay. Well then, okay, I digress. Explore your inner truth, then I'll say. You have to explore your inner truth. It's allowing the possibilities that lie before you without allowing fear to hold you back. So you have to explore your inner truth. What be it to thy own self be true. There are certain things you can't do, but do what you can do. So you have to look on the inside of you and say, okay, I believe I can do this, and I'm gonna step out. And I don't know how many times, even Nita said all the time, say, I talk to myself, say self, and self say, huh? And so we got to have that tenacity that we say, self, now you can do this. You know how many times I had to talk myself into just coming on, can we talk? I want it. No, not can we talk, can Anita talk? Because I ain't want to talk. I want to be on and I want to bask in the glory and I want to sit here and smile. No, it don't say, can Anita talk? It say, can we talk? That means that me and her both have to expound and to share with you. So I had to reach on the inner, explore my inner truth and know that I could do this. And just know that you can do it, but you have to reach down inside and push yourself and believe in yourself, because you're getting ready to step on that bridge. Why? Because you're going to on the other side to another level. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and put the other one, Anita, so I make sure I do the right. Yeah, you have to create your own path. You have to empower yourself to take steps, letting go of the things that you're not sure of. So you have to create your own path. This is something, the movement is something that we had to create. We had it in our head. And then actually, to be honest, Nita had it. Nita and a couple other ladies had it in their heads years ago. So it's one thing to be in your head and in your heart, but another thing to have it manifest, that it actually you create it. Mm-hmm. So we have to create another path. In other words, we have to take what we have and we have to figure out, where am I going to take this? So we have to create another path. In other words, we have to be able to be like a fork in the road. We know we're going somewhere. Either I'm going right or left. I don't want to go back. I'm going right or left or straight ahead. So we had to create a path. We had to make sure that it's what we're supposed to do, because when we start the movement, that was wonderful. But then we say, can we talk? So like I said, other things are going to be birthed out of this as we step into our bridge. Is that it? And you have to connect to your now. Where are you now? Where are you now? Where I have identified where I am. I know where I want to go, but I'm trying to, before I can get where I'm going, I got to get in my now. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm in my now, when I get where I'm going, I'll appreciate it more. So I'm trying to connect to my now. I'm trying to figure out, what do I need to do now? What do I need to work on now? What do I need to pray about now? So when in your now season, you have to be able to connect to your now and determine what you need to do now. And so many times I don't have a problem really worrying about tomorrow and trying to get to the next level, but I'm trying to get my now right, because just like anything else, you can constantly build. So if my now is crooked, if my now is out of whack, there's no need to build on that. So I'm taking my now, getting my now in place, and I'm beginning to build and to build for my tomorrow. So as I step into my bridge, I can cross over to the new, I can explore my inner truth, create another path, and connect to my now. Right now, what am I going to do? And my question to you tonight is, what are you doing now? Ladies, gentlemen, what are you doing now? Are you studying now? Are you working on your organizations now? Are you just sitting with your legs crossed now? What are you doing? So those are things that you really need to think about, because if you're going to get to your next level, make sure you connect to your now.
Step on that bridge. Step on the bridge.
Yes.
The bridge connects you to what's on the other side.
Yes.
The bridge takes you over the troubled places. The bridge takes you over troubled waters.
Oh, yeah, because trouble coming.
Let me tell you, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's ruin. And imagine if you had to cross through the water, but you don't have to cross through
I know. Oh, Nima said it. And then when they build a bridge, oh, I forgot this. When they build a bridge, there's at least 4 things. They use wood, stone, iron, and concrete. And so there's 4 levels that you need to go. And each one means, I won't go into that now, but each one of those means something. Mm-hmm. So there's different levels. You know, you may have the wood, where wood is only going to be, you know, you can only, we can only do certain things. Wood is just for like when you're crossing over little small bridges and, you know, mm-hmm. So there's different levels as you go to the next
you want to make sure that bridge is sturdy enough for
yeah.
How much, what the capacity that it's supposed to hold, and
yes,
and all of that.
Because wood is longevity and wisdom and knowledge. Stone is cherish the ordinary things in our life. Iron is strength, is courage, is fortitude, is to your tenacity. And concrete is faith, decision to believe, opinion. Broken things have been shattered. So that's the things, that the 4 steps that you're going to go through as you get ready to cross your bridge.
Get on that bridge.
Yes.
But just make sure you're on the right one.
I was trying to hear, so I wasn't gonna say that, but
oh no, that's okay. You have to hurry. When you said that, I remembered years ago when I was in Puerto Rico touring with somebody. There was a little canal, like this little ditch, and the water was like rushing. I mean, it was one of those vicious looking canals that looked like, boy, if a small child or a pet got in that, and I don't know where it was leading. The water like literally rushed through this little canal. I mean, the canal was probably about, I would say, maybe 10 to 20 feet wide. And it was one long strip, and the water was, it looked like the water was just going swoosh, swoosh. It was swooshing down this canal, like it would push you down, far down as far as you could see. And I don't even know where the water went. But there was this one little tiny bridge thing, like it was made out of ropes and wood, that people were crossing, and we were constantly seeing people walk across it, and little kids, itty bitty kids, because that was the only way they could get from where their houses were to get to this little corner store. So they would just be running across this bridge, and then I remember when we were getting ready to cross it, because we didn't know how to cross it and didn't understand that the bridge, number 1, could hold us, number 2, and that it was meant for one person to pass at a time because of the fact that it moved, and you can't there's nothing to hold on to because there's rope beneath you, but it was down like close to your ankles. So you had to literally walk. And I remember my ex-husband, he was horrible. He was trying to hold on to the ropes, and he was real tall, bent over, trying to hold on to the ropes and scoop. And it took him about 15 minutes to get across that bridge, because when you stepped on the bridge, it was a little rocky. And so, but it was that way, so it was able to hold the weight. And if you just continue to walk, you didn't even notice that the thing moved. But if you stop, you could feel it moving, and some people would get a little, rickety by the motion and panic and flip over. And I'm like, I am not going in this water. So bridges are meant to do certain things. And just because you might step onto the bridge and it seems a little rocky and a little shaky and that there's nothing to hold on to, it's your faith in knowing that the bridge is there to support you and that you're going to be fine. It's just connecting you from one place to the next. Mm-hmm. So when we step onto that bridge, as the net says, even though it might be rocky, it might be shaky, and it might look like it can't hold you, but it can, because it's designed to do that. You'll know that it's go time. Because once you get to that place right there, there's no turning around. What was my ex-husband going to do? He bent over and the thing was shaking. What was he going to do, turn around? No, he was in the middle. And he had to keep going. And so we have to keep going. And when we get to this place, when it's go time, we have to make sure that we have clearly seen the exact origin that we're supposed to be. Now, a lot of times, like I said, we get there and it might be a little weird, but then that's the only way you're going to know if you are really on your mark. And I thought back to kids and back in the day, when you're getting ready to do a race, the first thing that they would say is on your mark. And, now, of course, everybody's gotten to the word ready, but on your mark was what I knew. And honestly, being from the hood in Daytona, I didn't even know it was Mark. I thought it was March. Because I remember on your march. I said on your march for like years. I think I was a teenager before I knew it was on your mark. So when you're getting on your mark is the origin of your new day.
Like what Stacy
On your
said.
mark. Yeah. But you're getting on your mark of your new day, of that first day of the new day. And remember, every day is the new day. And just
Yeah.
like we said last week, you got to make every day be the first day of the best days of your life. Because at this point, a lot of us, we know where we're going. And I can look at, the people who are on this broadcast right now and those who might be watching it in the future, you already know, it's already been said. And it's already been said in your spirit. It's already written down in your vision and in your business plan and in your dreams. So you know where you're supposed to be. You know you're operating in what you're supposed to operate in. You know you were supposed to buy that software. You know you were supposed to write that book. You know you were supposed to get that equipment. So you know you are on your mark. And when you're on your mark, there are some things that you have to do. Remember now, this is a readjustment period. We have to get set. And I looked at these words because, of course, I'm going through on your mark, get set, go. We're dealing with race here. I looked at the words on your mark, get set, and sometimes compound words like that, they make no sense when you look at them individually. I don't know if I'm making sense to y'all, but when I look at the word get set, you could actually look it up in the dictionary and it comes up as an idiom. Mm-hmm. What an idiom is a collection of words that, when you look at the word separate without conjunction of it being an understood phrase, it does not make sense. And there are some people who have a problem with idioms because they don't understand it, because in their dialect, they're not used. And in the dialect, in our English dialect, it may not translate. And if you say something like that to a person who speaks Spanish, they don't get it because they look at each word and what they mean individually. So when we're dealing with an idiom, like for instance, if you ask me something, Anita, are you ready to do that? And I'm like, well, right now I'm up in the air about it. Up in the air, and they're like, well, you're up in the air. I mean, up in the air is airplane, birds. But when you look at the idiom, up in the air means undecided.
Yeah.
So when I look at the word get set, when you look at the word on your mark, that means you found your place. You look at the word get set. Now, y'all know me. I always got to go back to our words. When I look at the word get set and I break it up, and even understanding that the word has a compound meaning, I knew that when I'm getting ready for something, that it requires for me to like realign, readjust, re-identify. And I have to make sure that I have everything that I need at that moment. And when you're getting set, you are gaining possession of that moment. You are on your mark. That means that you have reached the moment. And then when you get set, you are taking possession of what has already been determined, set, or foreordained. And that word set is transitive, meaning that there's nothing that will stop you from getting what's on the other side of the bridge. Because you're on the mark, you're taking possession of what's already at the end of the rainbow, per se. So everything that you're going through right now is a setup for what your dream and your vision look like to you when you're looking at it and deeming it as, oh my gosh, that's impossible. Because you are taking possession. It may be small right now. It may be the first workshop right now, Stacy, but you are taking possession now of the dream because you are in the place where you're supposed to be. You are on the right mark. You have made it to the right mark. You have no more excuses. You're stopping the excuses. Okay, I'm not going to deal with the excuses. I'm going to go ahead and take the classes I need to take, buy the software I need to buy, step out there, give the marketing team, do what I need to do. I'm going to have my first one because now I'm in the point that I am taking possession of what has already been set for me. So what's been set for you, Annette, you're taking possession of that. So once you have gotten on the mark and you've gotten set, it's go time. which means that it's just time to move. And moving, when we're talking about movement with the word go, it's connected to forward movement.
Mm-hmm.
Not around in circles spinning tires on pavement movement, not moonwalk movement because now it's gotten too hard and I'm going to put it off for tomorrow. No, ain't no moonwalking here. Ain't no spinning tires on pavement. That means there's forward movement that has to take place. Forward movement has to take place. So we have to get rid of all of the excuses, all of the foolishness, all of the isms and schisms, because the thing is, when you get past that point, it's time for you to win. And what am I winning? Because you may not get what's at the end of that thing right now. And that's why, a lot of times we get discouraged, like, well, I'm doing it, but I don't see where I don't see where it's paid off. So I just must have not heard God. No, because you want it right now instead of what's important now. See, God has a plan. He has a way that he's doing things. So when you're winning, your win might not be for you right now. What you're doing now is sowing into the big win, but you're still winning because you're dealing with what's important now. That's what it means to win. What is important right now? And if it's not for you right now, you're blessed to be a blessing. So if you're blessed to be a blessing and you're winning right now with that, imagine that when you are finished sowing into your dream and all of the wins that you have, that you collect all the way to your destiny, imagine that big win. Whoa, man, let me tell you something. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the big win. I don't mind sowing in the small seasons. I don't mind humble beginnings. I don't mind taking it slow right now. I don't mind a small group right now because I know that at the end of what I'm doing is a big win because there are a lot of little wins that's just stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. And I have such a great reward that's going to come from every seed that I sow. I am so on that because you know what? God is not mocked. He has no respect of persons. That which a man soweth shall he also reap. If you are faithful over a few things, God will make you ruler over many.
Mm-hmm.
So it's go time. It's go time. I don't care how glim it looks. I don't know how short it looks. I don't care how simple it looks. I don't care how scary it looks. I don't care how little it looks. I don't care how much you don't have. I don't care how broke it looks. It's go time. It's still go time. We can't even wait. We can't wait. That's why we got to have our symposium this year, because it's go time. We couldn't pray another year. We had to go. It was go time. And it's great coming in here on Wednesdays. I don't regret it at all because it helps me. And it's go time because these are the wins. Because there's a greater win that's coming, and we just have to not be afraid to step out into the new place and make every day new. Woo! Amen.
Amen.
And amen again. The doors of the church are open. The mic is open if anybody wants to say anything. But I'm just excited. I'm excited for, things that I'm seeing. I was so excited the other day when I saw Stacy announcing her thing. I'm like, man, I wish I was in Michigan. Let me tell you. But one day, don't be shocked if you have something, Stacy, and you look up and me and Annette pop up, because we'll do it.
So
we have done it many a day. I can't tell you how many times we have.
Yeah, my audio is so bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My audio is so bad. You guys keep coming in and out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right here at the end, I'm like, dang, yeah, I can't hear him.
Really? I don't even know what you missed. He was talking about you.
Just that part right at the end, I'm like, I cannot hear them.
Oh, I was just saying that I've watched you pull together your stuff, and I see that you stepped out and you're stepping into that place now. And it's exciting for us to see that, because you are making your day new.
Oh my gosh.
You're not putting off for tomorrow what you're supposed to do now. And a lot of us are right there because that's what we are. We're doing our first symposium this year. And I said, I wish I was in Michigan because I would surely come. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I also said this, don't be surprised if you plan something and look up one day and it not show up. So do that.
And you guys show up. Oh my gosh. That would be awesome.
We have done that down through
awesome.
the years. I never did that. I went all the way to Texas to Claudette Copeland's conference. Just on the way. So we going. That's the family home in a hurricane. And we were out there in Texas in the sun. And that's learning and growing. And that's what it's about. So don't be surprised. Trust me. We watch it.
Oh, I know that's right. Yes, yes. Well, you guys have blessed me. Y'all always bless me. I mean, with so many juicy nuggets, I can't even put my hands on all of them. But the part that you were talking about in the beginning about procrastinating, do not procrastinate. I don't really understand a lot of procrastination because procrastination, it overwhelms me. And my sister is doing this workshop with me and she's a procrastinator. She is a procrastinator and it stresses me out because I'm like, why are we waiting? What we waiting on, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how she operates. And then the other thing when you were saying like, so a lot of times we putting off today thinking that we have tomorrow and sometimes we don't have tomorrow.
No.
Sometimes we don't have, and sometimes the people that we are called to and those that God has assigned us to, they need what we have right now. They might not have tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's right.
And so you guys, y'all just blessing me and Annette with that bridge.
Oh.
The bridge connects you. It connects you to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's in the organization that you do, or it's in the workshop that you do, or it's in the whatever your encouraging things that you're doing on Instagram or whatever. But it's the connector to where you're going.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I see nothing but great things coming for you. You stepped out, and I see it. When I saw it the other day, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she is gone."
Oh my gosh! I'm just trying to be obedient because I know the people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trying to be obedient.
They are waiting. They are waiting. Yes, we definitely. You're definitely onto something, and you know our prayers are with you for the success of it. I know
Thank you so much.
It's a scary place, and you know, it's a humble beginning. You know, you're doing something. Mm-hmm. There's always beginnings are always humbling. However, you're designed for it, and that bridge is going to connect you to like bigger and better things. I'm like, golly, she ain't playing. She coming like swinging.
Oh my gosh.
That what's coming ain't got nothing on what you're doing now, honey.
Amen.
And let me tell you guys, I mean, this is a 5-week series. These people don't know us. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it filled up in 1 week.
Wow.
I mean, it's just God. It's just God. They're trusting that they're coming there and we're going to give them what they need.
See?
You know, we're going to minister to their needs. So I'm preparing and I'm going to be ready to pour into them.
Come on now.
You know, because, you know, time, you know, that's the most valuable thing we have. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to waste nobody's time. Mm-hmm. If they're coming expecting, I'm coming full and I'm coming to deliver. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited.
Well, we're excited for you.
I'm excited.
Excited for you. And I just know it's going to be great. And I can't wait to hear all of the great results. I can't wait. It's going to be
Thank you. Yes, I will share.
I can't wait to have you on. Annette and then I actually reached out to her so we can talk about it. And then I ended up getting sick.
Getting sick.
And then I've had funerals back to back. So, you know,
man,
like you're talking about how things, you know, the person that you're assigned to might not have tomorrow.
Oh, and, wow, you know,
since November, since the death of my brother, it's been one after another. I can't even explain to you. And it's like you can't make this stuff up. And when I tell, you know, every week when I would be telling Annette, you ain't going to believe this. How about this person died on the day of my brother's funeral? She's like, what? And then on the day of another funeral, another person died. And then I just had the last funeral on Sunday that I had to speak at for a friend, an untimely death. And those are things that, you know, we can't control, but God knows. That's why we can't put off for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today. Yeah. And that person who we did her service on Sunday was supposed to be coming on here to speak about health and wellness. We had already talked about it.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah. See, we just don't know.
No, we don't.
We just don't know. And we can't assume that we have tomorrow. We always assume, like, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll wake up tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow.
And
And we just don't know.
every day is new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your new day with your conference, honey. I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Post pictures and stuff, and we will definitely
Yes.
put you guys on and spread some good love over that and some prayers.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, I need the prayers and all of that stuff.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, y'all, we're so happy that you guys joined us tonight. And I'm so glad we had this time together. But it has come to an end, and we are going to be signing off. But we appreciate you. I know you want to say anything before we go?
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. And Miss Stacy, we will be looking forward to many, many more.
Many more. Can't wait to have her on, though.
Oh, my gosh. And we coming that way. Trust me.
Oh, we definitely coming. The next thing we have to plan to go.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I don't know. We surely will.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good people. So you guys have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your night. And everybody, just say some prayers for Stacy and her event.
Yeah.
And y'all be blessed. We love you. Y'all take it easy. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Different topic.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.